Hello, my name is Donna Payne, and I'm taking CST 100 Principles of Public Speaking, and I would like to thank my family for coming to listen to my second speech. Did your mother always tell you that there was no such thing as a free lunch? Well, maybe she's wrong, because back in the days of the saloons, every morning at 11 a.m., the saloon owners would set up a buffet table and fill it with savory foods, especially salty foods, that brought your thirst level up. And all you had to do was belly up to the bar and order a beer, and they would give you a plate and you could fill it up with free lunch. Today I'm going to tell you about beer. The first thing I'm going to tell you about is the ingredients in beer. And according to Idell's and Kelly's Real Beer and Good Eats, the first ingredient in beer is barley. Barley is the primary ingredient in beer since the beginnings of brewing. The second ingredient is corn or rice. It's commonly added to American Pilsner style beers. The third ingredient is water. Water is essential for brewing. And the fourth ingredient is hops. Hops provide a bitter flavor and floral aromas to the beer. And I have a sample of hops up here that I can show you. These are the leaf type hops, and it's just a green leafy hop. And I also have a package of hops up here that after the speech, if you'd like to come up, they're open and you can smell them. Now that I've told you about the ingredients in beer, I want to tell you about the process of making beer. The first part of the process is malting. Malting is the controlled germination of barley involving steeping, germination, and kilning as to soften the grain for milling. It develops the enzymes for breaking down starch and mashing, and it introduces the color and the desirable flavors. The second part of making beer is brewing. Brewing starts with the first process, which is milling of the malt. The malt that you've softened is passed through 1, 2, and sometimes 3 pairs of rollers. From that step, they go to the mashing process. This is the stage where malt is mixed with water to enable the enzymes to start acting. Step number 3 is wort separation. Once the enzymes have completed their job in the mash, it is time to separate the wort from the residual grains. And according to Bamforth's book, Beer, Tap into the Art and Science of Brewing, this is the most skilled part of brewing. The fourth step is wort boiling. It activates the more robust enzymes and it sterilizes the wort. The fifth step in the brewing process is removing the trub. This is the insoluble material that emerges from the wort when you heat it and cool it. And the sixth step is the last step, and it's the wort cooling. This is the final stage before fermentation, and if it's not cooled properly, the yeast will not survive. Now that I've told you about the process of how to make beer and the ingredients that are in the beer, I want to tell you about some of the famous beers that most people drink today. The first couple of beers I'm going to tell you about are top fermented ales. The first one is an American ale, and it's pale to amber colored, and it's medium bodied. The second is a Canadian ale, and it's medium pale to deep amber. The third is from the British Isles or Ireland, and it was originally brewed to send to India. It was called an India Pale Ale, also known as an IPA. And it's pale to amber color, and it was originally strong and high hopped, and is very popular in the U.S. right now. The fourth beer I'd like to tell you about is the stouts. It's very dark and black colored, it's full bodied, and they are high alcohol content. The fifth one is the wheat beer, and it is a pale color and it is lightly hopped. Now the other ones I'd like to tell you about are bottom fermented lagers. The bottom fermented lagers, the first one is the Bock, and it's a lager from Germany and U.S., and it's an amber to a dark color. The second one is a light beer, and it's very pale, very light bodied. The third is a Pilsner, and it's a paler color, and it's medium to full bodied and high hopped. And the fourth one is the Vienna, and it's an amber or red color, and it's medium bodied, and it's light hopped. In the biochemistry of beer, they say that beer fermentation, that the historian suggests that beer was most likely brewed back as far as 7000 BC. And it's still just as popular today as it was then, if not more so. In conclusion, I hope that I have informed all of you, especially the beer drinkers in the audience, about the key ingredients, the process it goes through, and some of the kinds of the beers that are available. From the process it takes to make beer, you can tell beer is safer to drink than water. The process it goes through in boiling removes the organisms that might come into the process. I'm sure your mother will be glad to hear this. And speaking of your mother, the next time she says that there isn't a free lunch, you might want to tell her that there was back in the days of the saloon. Don't you wish you could go back to then?